Hello. Hi, ladies. Everybody out there. Knock, knock. Superwomen are in the house. We are so excited. We are just having a little pump up Zen session before we went live because we are about to deliver some information that's emotional, it's spiritual, and it really does require you to get connected. There's a reason that we call this the Superwoman connection, as you'll see in the banner up there. There is a reason, and it's funny. You'll see it over when we go through some of our panelists. But one of our panelists had a picture. What is that? What is that painting? That famous painting on the ceiling. That moment. Laura, you know it. Do you know it? You're muted, but I don't know. Anyways, that is irregardless. Can't hear you.
Michelangelo.
Michelangelo, yeah. So that moment of connection, that moment when their fingers meet, it was so symbolic. We were just having a little discussion here, and I'm thinking about the power when we connect. When you physically connect with someone else, your energies combining together, feeding off each other, learning from each other, growing from each other. And when I think about the Superwoman connection, it's just so perfect that is the name that came into play, because that's really what we stand for here. So we're going to, first of all, I want to welcome you, because this is our first live hangout on a Thursday night. We're going to be doing these hangouts every Thursday night. We have some incredible trainers. Seriously, I'm so excited for you ladies to get access to this. And if you're watching this video, means that you're connected with a Superwoman in some way, shape, or form. You know, some woman out there loves you and she wants to plug you in. Now, I want to share with you some magical things that have happened in a very short amount of time. Superwomen, we've been around for a while, a few years now. We're going on year number 3, I believe. But we recently opened up our doors, and we recently, made what we have, this special connection, this special community. We made it available for women all over the world, in any company, in any business, or in no business, because we know that behind whatever products you're selling or whatever business you're building or whatever team you're growing, behind all of that, when you break it down, a lot of us are exactly the same. And we've been through a lot of the exact same experiences. And we struggle with the exact same issues and beliefs and voices in our heads. So I had one of our panelists here cut me a video. And she was sharing one of her biggest breakthroughs that happened in the Superwomen boot camp. Now, this boot camp is available for free. You can get access by plugging in with whoever invited you here and say, hey, I want to be in the boot camp. But this is just from day 1. Okay, so this is day 1 of boot camp. And these kind of shifts have already happened on day 1. She says to me in the video, she says, for the first time, I finally feel freedom. The freedom to be Laura, the Laura I am. And when she said that, I was like, oh, that is exactly what it's all about. I don't want to change you. I don't want to, turn you into a super skinny supermodel, or, I don't want to change you. I want to show you how to truly love yourself as you are right now, accepting your flaws, accepting the areas that you need to grow, and loving on the value and the power that you have within you at this exact moment. So I want to bring out a couple of these panelists, because these ladies are on this hangout right now because they had a shift, because they felt a breakthrough, because something shook them on day 1 of boot camp, day 1, and they cut a video. They were among the first 5 women to cut a video and share their breakthrough. And I know they have really powerful messages to share with you. So I really want to be quick, because we have some content to go into, and I want to discuss some of your assignments with you and go through it with you one-on-one. But I want to go over to while I'm telling you your story, Laura. I want to go over to you, and I want you to share your breakthrough. You know, you were messaging me today, and you said, you know, something powerful has happened to me. So we have to hear about it. So make sure you're unmuted. Come on out here and tell us a little about why you said what you said about truly being free to be Laura.
Why'd you move the key? I think it's nice.
Well, thank you, Layla. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. I got to that through the exercise, you know, that you had given in the Superwoman book, the handout, and I followed it. And, you know, as I was going and going, you know, inside my core, you know, the word freedom is what came, you know. And first it was, you know, the freedom to be able to do what I wanted to do when I wanted to do it without always having to, you know, worry about just that one big Christmas present I got to save up for every year for my son Daniel, not just me, but my spouse and I, you know, or that one vacation. And, you know, these were the little things I'm going through first. But my passion really came out, and it was the freedom to be able to go when I wanted to go and teach and uplift other women and empower them. That has always been my calling ever since I was a wee child, since as long as I can remember, you know, is to somehow uplift people and to also share with them that they don't have to take the road I took to get there, you know, because I took a long road to get to where I met up with someone that kind of gave me my wings, you know, and then let me fly. And part of that happened here at the Superwomen group when I first became introduced to it. A year or so back.
Yeah, and you shared, well, you've shared a lot of your personal story with me, and you know, I know all the things that you've been through, and the journey that you've had to get here, and you know, your passion for inspiring other women, you know, and helping them to find their wings like you did. That is, you know, when I think about all of the experiences that you've had and the circumstances that you have come out on the other side of, I think of that as power. Power for you to be able to achieve, you know, that purpose. And also, one of the only ways to help inspire other people is to truly look inside of ourselves and be able to love ourselves, right? And to be able to go through these processes and let go of the chatter, let go of some of the shackles of our past and the fear that's embedded. Because, you know, a lot of when you said that on the video, I thought of a lot of women out there that have that fear, you know, that have been in circumstances where they don't feel like they can be themselves. They don't feel like they're going to be accepted. They are afraid of rejection or, you know, what someone might say or think because of experiences that they've had in the past, because of something that's happened, you know, where they weren't treated nicely, or they weren't treated fairly, or they've had, you know, bullies in their life. I've had my share of bullies in my life. So what we create in the Superwoman Connection, I think, is just so powerful for facilitating these kind of breakthroughs. You know, especially in your story, Laura, because I think keeping your message inside, keeping your voice inside because you're afraid of what people might think, or, you know, being yourself, being okay with exactly who you are.
That's what happened to me. That's what happened this afternoon. It happened on Monday. I realized It was freedom to just be Laura. And then today, when I didn't think that I was going to be able to be on the panel tonight, you know, I sat down, and I'm going to be honest, I cried about it, and I wasn't unhappy or jealous of those who got, you know, were able to or whatnot, but I was able to take responsibility without jumping into that victim role. And the reason I did that is because I said, Laura, you wasted time engaging in something that you didn't need to engage in and justify yourself with. You don't need to explain you are you. And those few precious minutes, cost me time in getting my content up, and they frazzled me with my connection. You know, I was stressed because of it.
I remember.
That was when today I sat down, I cried a new cry. It wasn't a cry that I felt sorry, it was a freedom release cry. It was a freedom release cry, and I was happy for everybody, and I talked about it in my team hangout today a little bit and shared it, and I was really happy and just felt glad that I had finally reached that place, because you're right, I have been entirely afraid of success because of being worried about how people would view me and my story, because it's epic.
It is.
There's not much I haven't been through. So
absolutely. And you know, that right there, I'm gonna move on to the next person, Laura, but that right there, that needed to happen. And I am a believer that everything that happens for a reason. You were the 5th person to post your video, and I had initially said 4.
Yep.
That was the rules that I put out, and so I had to honor the first 4. I knew you were you were dealing with technical issues. I knew that was happening, but I still had to honor my word.
Exactly.
So I told you that you weren't going to be able to be on the Hangout, and that moment where you had to be aware of your past behaviors, your past habits, how you would have reacted to that in the past.
Absolutely.
That is total superhero power that you have just developed. And you can prevent yourself from ever going to that place again, and knowing that it's not serving you. Being happy that you shared that message, that it was on my wall, that I saw it, that other women saw it, you know, that now you are on a mission and you're going to help so many other women. That right there needed to happen. You needed to not make the Hangout.
Yeah.
And then make the Hangout.
And then when you messaged me, I was like, yeah, so it was a gift, and you're
That's awesome.
graceful in my
That's
life,
awesome.
and I thank you for it.
Yeah, I definitely. That's why I had to share your story, because it really did move me, and I think that it proves a point of, you know, whatever is going on in your life, whatever you're dealing with when you're starting this boot camp, it's all there for a reason. It's all there to serve a purpose. And I know some of you are watching this and you haven't started your boot camp yet, and you know, you're thinking, I've got so much going on. We're going to talk about that. I'm going to give you an exercise to eliminate the heaviness that seems to gather on our shoulders. You know, no matter what we do, it always gathers. So I want to give you an exercise to eliminate the heaviness, just lighten the load, and we're going to talk about that. But before we do, I want to go over to this sweet, precious little baby over here, because, you know, I know babies, and they can be unpredictable, and you never know when they'll have a meltdown. So I really want to get Aisha out here to share her story.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yay. Okay, yeah, they can
Awesome.
hear you.
So, yeah, Aisha, you cut a video on my wall as well, sharing your breakthrough from day one. And we're going to talk a lot about that particular assignment. So what was one of the biggest shifts that you felt after day one?
The biggest shift I felt was, first, initially being grateful for a do-over, because I've been on this journey for a long time. And I can completely relate to Laura, keeping my story guarded and not being forthcoming or just telling everybody everything. And I don't know if it's the jaded New Yorker. You know, you don't need to know my business. And just kind of releasing that and being more
transparent.
open. Yeah, more transparent, allowing myself to be vulnerable, which is very difficult for me. And even doing the video, as tired as I was, and when I look back, I was like, oh my God, I look like death warmed over. But then I was just like, who cares? I got it done.
It got me here.
It got me here. I got it done. That was my reality. That's, this is my life as it is right now. Sleep deprived, 2-3 hours sleep. Greta's nodding her head. Being a mom of a baby again, because I have 2 older boys, so it's a completely different experience. Again, enjoying being home with her and being a mom to her, and being able to reconnect with everyone, because I had the opportunity to connect with most of you. I mean, there are new faces there, but the opportunity to reconnect and to be welcomed with open arms and just to have some type of connection, which is very important to me. So the opportunity to be here, I was just like, I have to do it no matter what. I just got to do it, and then I'm like, oh, but I'm tired. My eyes are red, my this, and all these excuses started going through my head, and I had to eliminate it and, just cut the camera on and just do it. So I pulled out my phone and I did my video right then and there and posted it. No editing, no music, no graphics, no transitions, just did it, which was, even that was was different for me. Was very different, but it was, but I also felt empowered, because I was just like, you know what, I don't have to, as put on makeup and curl my hair, because I don't do that anymore.
I know. I'm like the bandana queen, This is how we
I'm
roll.
lucky if I can find a clean shirt these days, but
that's what I was saying to Toby today. I was like, why is there always food on my shoulder? Like, I walk out, I go to the bank, I'm like, oh my God, there's like a whole chunk of squash on my shoulder, and I'm just standing here in line at the bank. So yeah, I hear you go. I mean, it's empowering.
Sweatshirts on deck.
That's one of the big responses that I'm getting from women that are going through the boot camp, is that, even just the fact of cutting the camera on and just speaking to it, speaking your thoughts, speaking your experiences, speaking your desires, speaking your wants. This is something we don't often do. And you said something really powerful that I think will resonate with a lot of women out there. And you said a do-over. This is really important to remember in your business, because we all have moments. When I was pregnant with B, around the last few months, we took a world trip. We traveled to the Maldives Islands and Dubai, and I was big and round, and I just totally unplugged. And then I had B, and I was on like baby vacation. And knowing that you have a place where there's no judgments, if you're taking time to take care of your sick mother, and you have to step away from your business, you can always come back to a place of love and support. Whatever's going on in your life, there's always the ability at any moment to hit the reset button and say, okay, now this is my moment. This is my time. Because whatever happened up until this moment, whatever experiences you've had, whether they've been successes or failures or goals that you've hit or goals that you haven't, all of this is part of where you are right now. And that is what's important. That is the most important thing, not where you've been. You know, it's where you are right now. And where you've been has shaped where you are right now. And you wouldn't be here if you hadn't gone through all that crap. And the power to hit the reset button, it is liberating. It is so liberating. And to have women support you in that, to have women say, let's do it. You know, I don't care what you did before. I don't care, you know, if you took a baby vacation. I don't care. I am ready to run with you side by side. And that's exactly what the Superwomen we do here. So
can I jump in, Layla?
Yes, for sure.
It's Terry here from Australia. It came to mind when you were saying that. I love this little phrase that is, you're as good as your next move, not your last. And I just often have that just come to mind at some point where I've come up with, you know, I'm aware of my fears of things from the past or whatever, and it's just like, I'm as good as my next move, not my last. And there's always that moment where you can step into the best version of yourself at any moment, and to have the support of the Superwomen around you, it's just like gold. But I just wanted to share that phrase. It's a beautiful one.
I love that. You know, you are as good as your next step, not your last one. And it's so true. We're constantly stepping forward. And if you're not stepping forward, it's probably why you're feeling stuck. You know, and we get in those places, but it's so important to have these kind of tools in our toolbox. You know, I think of everything that I learn within the Superwomen, everything that I teach to the Superwomen, I think of it as your tools. You know, when we talk about pattern interrupts and anchoring yourselves and limiting beliefs and, you know, refocusing and reframing and all of these powerful strategies are tools for you to own your life, for you to take back control, and for you to step forward rather than being stuck. So I want to go over to another tenacious woman who does not give up. You know, I'm so inspired by the ferocity of these women, and you know, they're willing to do anything. They're willing to cut a video 5 times. Can you imagine that? You know, pouring your heart out to the camera 5 times and being like, okay, my app, I think it was her app on her phone kept crashing, and so she would lose everything. And so having to do that again 5 times. Would you do it? Would you stick it out, or would you throw in the towel? Would you give up? Would you say, you know what, it's not meant to be? Or would you decide what's meant to be? That's what I love about Elizabeth. She decided what was meant to be. She wasn't going to let technology tell her what was meant to be. She said, I'm going to cut this video for the 5th time, and it's going to work. And it did. So Elizabeth, come out here and share your experience when you went through day 1 and you went through the assignment, specifically touching in on your purpose, because I really want to hone in on what you uncovered, what you dug up, and how it made you feel. So just share a little bit about your experience with the assignment.
Oh my God! Can I tell you, it was getting me to the point of like utter frustration, because I was like, okay, I just need to upload this video like now, and then I would get it, and then the iPad would just like freeze, and then it would go to black screen, Apple, and then it would crash again. I'm like, oh, this is not happening. And I had my daughter Mia with me, and she's like, Mommy, don't worry about it. You're gonna do it. It's gonna come up. It's gonna come up. So then we did it again, and then again it crashed, and then I was like, okay, this is just not happening. This is just not gonna happen to me. So I was like, no, it's gonna happen. We're gonna get this uploaded. I'm gonna get it on her wall, and that's it. And then it finally just did it, but then I was like, okay, forget this stupid app. I'm gonna go over to YouTube, whatever capture thing, and then it did it. But then it didn't want to upload correctly. It was just kind of like taking its time, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna like shoot myself. But then it was like, I just kind of like, with what we were talking about before about the word, like that has been resonating with me since I saw the handbook. Since I saw the handbook, I was like, okay, this is like nothing I've ever had my hands on before. Like, it was almost like the heavens opened up and said, woo, like here's like what you need to understand and realize for the very first time. And it's funny because as much as I love experiencing people and women, and like really engaging in the way we all function, like our minds, how we all are encapsulated into each other, it dawned on me that I had been in this stagnant place of scared, of fear of my own person. And it's funny because you always contradict yourself, because as much as I can speak life into other people, that same word that I speak, I don't, it's like it's here, but it's not in here. So there's been like a disconnect for me. So when I started seeing the questions and when I started answering them really from my heart, I was like, wow, this is deep. Like this is like deeper on a deeper level than I've ever like actually allowed myself to be with myself. So it's, you know, the questions just kept digging deeper, and the more I answered them, the more it like felt real. And for the last year and a half for me, like with the other ladies, I haven't told my story yet. Like I've been sitting here rewriting my story over and over and over and over, and I'm like, well, what if it doesn't sound right? And what if it doesn't, like, you know, I know that it will resonate with a lot of people, but at the same time, it's like there's that fear factor in your brain that just kind of like says, okay, no, like slam on the brakes, you can't do this. But then like on Monday, when I just finally just said to myself, you know what, this is your time. Like my husband goes, don't cry, but I'm gonna cry. This past year has been an absolute roller coaster for me. I've been very sick for the last year and a half, and my asthma, I have really bad asthma. It's been one of those things where I don't know when it's going to happen. It's mostly unpredictable. Sometimes it's the weather, sometimes it's just stress, and just things in general just trigger anything. And I've been practically living in the hospital on and off almost a year. And then a couple of weeks ago I broke my foot too, so I'm dealing with that also. I'm on crutches, and it's been an overwhelming feeling of feeling almost so dependent upon, you know, my family. Like, I want to be the one that's doing everything, and now here I am, like, you know, like not being the sole person that's like trying to take care of everything, and I almost feel like a burden sometimes. And I know that I'm not, but like you feel that way, because as a mom you want to take care of your kids and your husband and your family, and I feel sometimes just like so like I can't keep up with myself. Like, my brain is always going a mile a minute, but then the rest of me just can't catch up, and it like frustrates me, because I know I can be doing more, but then I also know that, you know, things have to pace themselves. You have to pace yourself, and I sometimes just don't know where to stop, where to begin, where to stop. It's almost like a battle inside my brain. And then
one definite thing, you know, because I think a lot of women can relate to that, you know, having so much going on. You know, I know that you've been dealing with health issues, and that is really difficult, not only physically, you know, draining your body and, you know, the physical effects that it has on you, but also like you said, the mental effects of feeling almost powerless, you know. And when we get into a place where we feel powerless, you know, that's something that a lot of women out there might be experiencing right now. Who knows why? You know, there's so many different reasons why we decide to give our power away. We allow circumstances to control us. But on Monday, that's what I want to get to here, Elizabeth, is on Monday, that changed. On Monday, you made a decision, and you said,
Monday, I said,
my time is now.
Yes, I just basically told myself that I've had enough. I've had enough of, I don't want any excuses to take over me anymore. Like, I'm just, like, I'm done. Like, I came to the conclusion where I was just like, you know what, this is it. This is where the buck stops. Like, I can't do it anymore. I know in myself, within my head, that I know that I can surpass anything, that I can accomplish anything, that I can run with the wildfire that's inside me, and I'm going to do whatever I have to do to get to where I want to be, because it means that much to me. But what shifted for me was that my mindset was in the state of fear. I was just so afraid of like climbing over the mountain. I was like, no, I can't do that. But then once I started reading your words, and once I started listening to you, I mean, like, really listening to you, and listening to everybody, it was just kind of like making sense that I'm like, no, I'm in the right place. I know I can do this. And that word, that relief word, just was like, no, I know that like all this storm is just going to weather away, and that relief, that like Laura said, like freedom and relief are like almost the same word for me, because they tie into each other, because the relief of not having the stress of, financial burden, not having the stress of worrying, not having because my health ties into the stress. So that stress, I know, is all going to just sort of like start fading, because I'm allowing myself to walk into my own power that I feel like I'm
curious though, Elizabeth, when you feel that relief and you have released all of the worry, all of the fear, when you feel the relief and you feel the freedom, then what does that mean? What does that mean for Elizabeth? What does Elizabeth do at that point? What's there? When you have relief from all of that, when all of that is gone, then what does that mean for you?
That means I can breathe. That means I can, like, literally, like I can breathe, because I feel with everything that I have going on, I feel like I can't breathe. And it doesn't go, it goes hand in hand with, like, literally I can't breathe, but it literally feels like all this heavy baggage will just diminish, and that, how like everybody says, like, you spread your wings and you just fly. Like I use that terminology too, with the wings and flying, and I just feel like as soon as that comes to me, and I can give that back to my family and to my husband, then I can breathe. Like I feel like I can't breathe because I can't do that right now, but I know that I can. So I know it's gonna happen.
You can.
I know I can.
I know you can too, and the process, it's not always easy, especially when we felt like we can't do something for so long. To eliminate that word "can't," I am on the road to rediscovering my power. I am on the road to releasing all of the stress. I am on a path to allowing freedom into my life, rather than saying I can't do this. I can't. It's difficult, but that one word, the one word, will change how your brain operates to actually create what you need, so that you can, because you can. So I am so grateful. Your enthusiasm, your dedication, I know that this is your moment too. I know that this is it. And I know that your story, when you tell it, and I think that's what, day 5? Day 5, when you tell it, there will be a release. And you will be able to breathe. And I'm actually going to give an exercise tonight that's going to give you some breathing room. I don't know if you listen to the audio. There's an audio that goes with day 1 from the Superwoman teleseminar that I did, and you were talking about the storms, right? So I want you to, if you didn't listen to it, go download it.
I will. I didn't listen to it yet.
I want you to picture yourself as the sky. And there's the sky and there's the clouds. The sky is this container for the clouds. And the clouds, they whirl around and they shoot lightning bolts, and stormy weather is contained in that sky. But the sky is not the clouds. The sky is the sky. And the sky knows that it's the sky. No matter what storms pass through, it will always be the sky. So remember, as we go through hard times, there's no denying that difficult situations will happen to each of us every single day. But they're the clouds. And we are the sky. So where we can stay constant and we can dissociate from everything around us, even the emotions that you're experiencing, the fear, the negativity, the if you're experiencing depression, any of these, anxiety, worry, stress, they're all clouds. They are not who you are. They are not the sky. They are separate, and they will pass. And who you are will remain constant. It's a really powerful metaphor, so make sure you download that audio. Yeah, it's awesome. Let me go over to Sahara. I got your video, and actually I got your message because you were inboxing me about some of these, these breakthroughs that you were having. And honestly, I was like, I think I read the message that you sent me maybe 5 times, and I was like, that makes so much sense. And I had never thought of it. I don't know why. So you have to come out here and share what you shared with me, because it blew my freaking mind. And I just think about things, so it just shifted everything for me. I look at everything differently with what you shared. It was so awesome. So Sahara, come out here and share your experience with boot camp day number 1.
Hey Layla, hey everyone. Boot camp day number 1. For me, it is all about connection. The name that you have chosen for this group is amazing. It is connection. And in the second part of the assignment for day 1, it was like, when you achieve stuff, what is that going to mean for you? And again, for me, it's this sense of connection. And as you were just talking then about the sky, being constant, not being distracted and disconnected, staying constant as the sky, as life moves around me. And the realization that I had as I was doing these assignments, and I listened to the daily calls when I go on my walk every morning, and the ladies were talking about mindset, and I'm going, okay, because at the moment I feel rather disconnected, and I'm, actively working on my connection, but I'm really aware of a old underlying feeling of disconnection that just floors me and undoes me. And I'm listening to these calls and I'm going, mindset, okay, mindset, this is heart set. This is my heart. And I know the two are connected and the two are talking to each other, but at the moment my heart feels so disconnected. My mind feels empty, and I'm going to cry. Breath.
That's okay.
And I can use my mind, and this is what I've done my whole life, because as long as I can remember, I've felt disconnected, and this whole human experience is very, very strange, and it's been a struggle just to be okay with being human, which that part of my story I couldn't share with people. And I think maybe, this might be the first time I'm so publicly sharing it. And I feel safe because you women are amazing. You hold this incredible space where it's okay to show up like this in front of how many people, I don't know, but I know that it's okay. My heart's okay to be this real, this raw, this authentic. And my heart feels so disconnected and my mind gets blank. And what I've done in the past, because I emotionally interpret my world, is to then use my mind to understand my emotions and to rationalize and intellectualize and go, okay, well, I'm feeling like this because of this and that, and then there's mindsets there that I can work on. But when I'm in this heart space and heart set of loss and grief for something that I don't really even understand, which has plagued me for so long, and I now deal with it really well, but just recently it's just come up strongly, and the day 1 of boot camp just made me go into there and question what was going on and going, okay, my heart set, how do I be okay and connected in my heart set? How do I be the love that I want to be? The word that came up for me in doing the second part of the assignment was enjoying this world, enjoying being human, because Earth and humans are amazing. And the gift of life and living and sharing and loving is so beautiful. And when I feel disconnected from that, I draw a blank. And, sharing in a group this morning with Terry and some of the other beautiful super women, that it just totally floors my passion. I'm not someone out there to compete and achieve certain things. I'm there to share my passion and the skills that I have and inspire people, be that ripple effect. But when my heart feels at such a loss, I don't have that passion to share. And I have this little girl who needs me to be okay. And I can't fall apart, because if I fall apart, I'm her world. It's just her and and I need to find that place in me that goes, it's okay. And Keisha this morning on the call, it hit for me what's even the underlying thing, which always has been, and it's of value. I don't feel my value, and that's what I need to connect in my heart space, is that I am of value and that it's okay for me to be here, that I'm not, and this is going to sound weird or horrible, but this is a mindset that I've had, that I feel like I'm a parasite on this earth, using up resources, using up space, and what do I give back? And for me to feel that value of myself and be connected to it, that's where I know my heart space will be okay and will be constant, and then it doesn't matter how connected or disconnected I feel, because I'm connected.
Mm-hmm. Wow, it's that. Let me just shake it off for a second. You know, when you talk about your value and being a parasite, and I mean that's a little extreme, obviously, but it's the things that we say to ourselves, right? Like, what we talk like that to ourselves. You know, we probably would never say it to anyone else. You know, we wouldn't utter those kinds of words to people, but we do it to ourselves, and we talk like that to ourselves. And when you look at your value and you're trying to measure it, you're trying to say, where does it come from? What makes me worthy? What am I contributing? What am I giving back? You know, it comes from that heart set. And when you see that your heart set is value, and that the love that you give, the love that you feel, the love that you share, and the connection that you create with your hearts, that is what makes you valuable. And just having a space where you can discover this, having a place where you can be okay with questioning these things, and you can be okay with speaking about it to people you've never met in person. I mean, you've met Terry, but none of these other people, you haven't met them in person. We've done cooking hangouts, but you know, it's a process. And I'm hoping that Sahara didn't freeze, because did you freeze? She might have frozen. She'll watch this replay, I know she will. But it really does, when you measure your value from something rather than your bank account. You know, too often we say, you know, my bank account, whatever that checking balance says, that's what I'm worth. Well, I say fuck that. Okay? You're not worth your checking account balance. You have to go deeper. And I'm sorry for swearing, because I never do that, ever. But I can't help the way that I feel about determining where your value comes from and how important that is. And this is all things that you ladies will experience as you go through the boot camp and you go through the days. But it truly has a lasting effect. And you know, Terry, I want you to come out here and speak about Sahara. I'd like her to be on here when you speak. Maybe we could just come back to you, Terry, and wait for Sahara to come, because I know that you have a lot to say. You two are very close friends, and what she shared was so real, so difficult for most of us. You know, you sitting at home might be thinking, wow, I could never share my fears and my internal dialogue. I could never do that so publicly. But that's what happens. That's what happens when you go through this boot camp and you're you're in this space and you're in this community and you feel safe. You feel like, okay, for the first time I can be honest, I can be vulnerable, I can share these crappy things that I've been carrying around that I haven't told anybody. And I can finally release it. I can finally work past it and let it go and move forward. So I'm going to come back to you, Terry, but I am going to go to Trisha Lee, because Trisha Lee, you are such a vibrant energy. I feel like you're just a huge sponge, first of all, who's like absorbing absolutely everything that she possibly can, and that was totally me. You know, when I first started in this world, I was just like soaking it all in, you know, whatever I can get, whatever hangouts I can be on, whatever assignments I can do, whatever way I can push myself, whatever way I can achieve more and be more and do what they do to get what they get. You know, I was totally bought in. So share with me what your word was in part 2 of day 1's assignment, you know, and how getting to that word, how that shifted for you.
Hey, Superwoman. I just wanted to say how grateful I am to be here, and I'm so excited. My first hangout with the Superwoman, and I know that I don't need to be nervous because all of the value that this awesome community has poured into me is going to come out as I speak to you now. So for me, what finally came out, and it wasn't really until I made the video to be on the hangout, was the word peace. And so I had done the assignment, and I can't even remember what word I came up with through that, but it kind of evolved from where I was earlier, totally changed to this piece. And something that I learned a really, really long time ago was that through everything that I've been through, as I look back, I have the choice to look back on those experiences, especially the painful ones, and be able to appreciate the value that it's brought to my life. And so no matter what it is we're going through, and I'm going through a really, really difficult situation right now with my little sister, and I got her signed in the Superwoman group, and she's got great ideas, and she needs to keep busy, so she doesn't have a business yet, but I'm so excited that she's here with us. Shout out to Tasha. And so I know that for me, that gives you so much peace. When you can you look back and see all the successes, all the things that you've accomplished and achieved, your awards, your trophies, whatever it is, you have it. I know, ribbons, whatever it is throughout your life. As you look back, if you can focus on those things, or the valuable lesson that was learned from that difficult experience, when you do that, it brings this peace. And I just want to wish that upon all the Superwomen out there on the panel and watching. And actually, I had a question in regards to like a little bit of an issue that I had with the last boot camp. I didn't even do the time management thing that Marisol put out there, because I've done time management like 3 times at least since I've started in this whole journey on the internet, where I've written out detail by detail, half hour by half hour, when my breaks will be and my whole schedule, and I've never been able to come anywhere near following it. So my question to the coaches would be like, how do I get past the fact that I've tried it so many times and failed, to be able to continue to try and push forward and be able to like make some progress on like that whole, just being able to manage your activities so that you're being productive and not just like watching everybody else moving forward and you're like stuck.
Yeah, totally. I definitely want to hear from some of the ladies on the line. But one thing to remember is that you're not defined, first of all, by what you've done in the past. You know, so if you scheduled yourself out and it didn't work, it doesn't mean it can't work, but it might mean you need to make it work differently for you. So I want to get some ideas, because if there's one woman that has her hands full and has probably one of the craziest schedules that I've ever met, and is feeding like 6 people at once. I can't fathom cooking dinner for 6 or 7 or 8 people at once. It's like me and Toby struggle. Yeah, so I got to get her out here to share some of her tips and her ideas for time management, because when you have 6 kids, time management means something completely different. So Greta, come on out here and share your experiences.
Thank you, Layla. Yeah, I as soon as Trisha Lee, as soon as you started talking about that, I was like, I was so there.
Yeah, because those little 30-minute segments with breaks and scheduled stuff, they don't work for you either.
No, exactly. And that's the thing, is that, you can't really, you shouldn't really look at other people and their schedules, like, because I know a lot of people were posting their schedules up. You're like, oh, that one looks good. Oh, look at that one. I was like overwhelmed with, like, I'm a very visual person too, so I was like, oh, look at all those colors, and oh my gosh, I did the same thing, and I created this crazy. I still have the same one on my phone. This schedule, this calendar that I've created for myself, and it's like popping up. There's like 20 different things, right, that I put into my day, because I'm like, okay, I have to schedule my personal stuff, my family time, as well as my business time, and it was just like so crazy all over the place. And I'm a little bit sniffly right now, because seriously, this Hangout, I don't know about you watching right now, but like I was like ready to start sobbing and like grabbing tissues, and so I'm a little sniffly. So sorry if I'm sniffing as I'm talking, but my heart is just so full, and for me, and I know that you watching have felt like this connection. Sorry, just to like go off, but like this huge connection, like heart-to-heart connection with all these women here, that it's just like, to me, that's why I'm here, and it means so much to be a part of this. It's just so huge. And you know what, that's the thing that keeps me going, is just the connection with all these women, and the connection with all the new women coming in, and being a part of this. It's like nothing I've ever experienced. It's just an awakening, a heart opening, a heart awakening, and I'm just so grateful every day. And so back to scheduling. That is the key. The key really is you have to be realistic with your life and who you are, and what is involved in your life, okay? Don't look at what everybody else is doing. Really, like, just use it as kind of like an example if you need to have a visual, and then taking it into account your life and your time. And, especially with kids, it's unpredictable. Your time is going to be unpredictable. And us moms, I feel like we have a little bit of an advantage, because we're used to things changing and having to just like pick up right away, figure it out, and just, go with the flow. And just sort of taking key things that are important to you, like maybe 2 or 3 things, and just starting with that. Just even create a calendar for yourself, and just put 2 things on there. Pick 2 things that you want to do every single day. You want to accomplish every single day, something that's really important, and putting that on your calendar. And then seeing how that week goes for you, right? Seeing how that feels, and you'll notice that when you've actually been able to go through a whole week, and you're actually doing it, you're accomplishing those 2 things, it's like, yeah, okay, so now this is good. It's, it starts to become a habit. It usually takes about 4 weeks actually to create new habits. But when you do that, you'll be able to navigate whether or not you can add another thing on to that or not. But yeah, I mean, it's about creating flow within your own life, and creating a rhythm that works specifically for you. and without feeling that overwhelm that we tend to feel when we just want to do like 100 different things. Your like to-do lists are like a mile long, and for some, I mean, I can do that. I make my like giganto lists, and then I know like my basic really important things that I need to do. And yeah, so for me,
that's actually something that I was going to say is, you know, the important. One of my mentors, he was a firm believer in the yellow flippy notepad. You know, the yellow notepad with the lines, and yeah. So every day I would write out my tasks, and you know, it would be create blog posts, market blog posts, connect with this many people, and those would be my top priorities, because my top priority is sharing my message, marketing that message, and connecting with new people. Those are my top 3 things that I do every single day. So when you have a little to-do list, and ladies, do not make a crazy ass to-do list, because you will overwhelm yourself. I want you to focus like 5 things on your to-do list. 5 things. Do those 5 things every single day for a week, and then tell me how you feel. Tell me if you're able to manage this, and maybe you need to you know, schedule your time a little bit better. Maybe you need to get rid of distractions when you're working and not be commenting on Facebook when you need to get those 5 things done. But really, rather than having alarms pop up, some people work well with alarms. You know, some people, they like their phone reminding them every 10 seconds that they're supposed to be doing something. I'm not so much that way. I like to, when I have a moment when B goes asleep, I'm like, okay, I've got my list. I'm gonna get these things done. Once they're done, I feel so freaking good. You know, and it's, rather than beating myself up about these alarms that are going off that I'm not doing, I feel accomplishment. And so that would be my suggestion, is to just tone down your to-do lists, ladies. Do not overwhelm yourself with to-dos. Make sure that you're focusing on the things that are actually in line with your purpose. And that's why it's really important to get in touch with what your purpose is, because then everything you do feels effortless. It doesn't feel like work when you are doing things that are in line with why you are here, when they're aligned with your heart set, like Sahara said. So Trisha Lee, I'm going to come back to you, because we never know how long Sahara can last on these Hangouts, because she's out there in the middle of nowhere. So I know I wanted to bring Terry out, Sahara, because you left us in a frozen state, and we were all feeling all these emotions, and then you froze. Almost like the chocolate, when we were all waiting to mix the chocolate and you froze, and we're like, should we just mix the chocolate without her, or what should we do? So I wanted to bring Terry out, because I know you guys have been working really closely, and for her to see you open up like that, I'm sure it was very, very touching and moving, and a moment for her. So I wanted Terry to come out and just kind of speak to you.
Beautiful. Yeah, I definitely wanted to speak to Sahara. It's just, I mean, it's unquestionable, all of us here and also all of us around you, your value. And it's an amazing thing, the human experience, because we all know exactly what you meant. You know, we all question our worth at times. So it's, and to come out and share with us, to share your heart, to share that rawness is such a gift, because it gives all of us permission to delve deeper, to really be honest with some of those parts of ourselves that have voices like that. And it's just so powerful. I just wanted to feed back to you the incredible value and gift that you sharing so rawly is in itself, apart from all the other amazingness that you are. And the other thing too that I often think of, and I offer to you and other women watching, is that, you know, sometimes when we don't have that self-belief, we can borrow it. We can borrow that belief from other people, because we all believe in each other so strongly. Like, we just, you know, I just have no doubt, no hesitancy in my full belief in your value and your worth, and every woman here and every woman watching. And so I think we can all just remember that we can reach out, and even if we're not reaching out as such, we can just emotionally, energetically reach out and remember that other people believe in us even when we doubt. and to draw on that at any time. And I mean, that's, for me, has been part of this Superwomen group itself, has been this sense of other women believing in me in my ups and downs. And yeah, I just love you to pieces, Sahara, as we all do. And
We all do.
Just want to acknowledge you and share those things.
Thank you, Terry, and thank you, Layla, and everyone. And yeah, you know, I feel this place is a place where I can be raw, and I don't know how to be anyway but, and that for me, in my journey, especially in my past, when you knew me, Terry, at uni, I couldn't share this. I was acutely in that space of non-value then, and I couldn't share it with anyone, and I spent a long time walking without being able to be real with people, because I don't know any other way. I don't know how to put a game face on. I try, but I'm not very successful. So all I've got is to offer my heart, and I know that I am of value, but that's my demon. And at the moment, it's raised its ugly little head, and it gives me an opportunity to let go of it on a deeper level, which is, I think, a realization that I had, Layla, with the boot camp, was that, you know, it's still there, and it's something I walk with. And even today in the Hangout of, you know, just doing something of just writing myself a PDF of when I feel like this, I can still be functional, because I've got this checklist of things that I can do that aren't necessarily sharing the rawness of me with, you know, my business or social media realm, but I've still got stuff where I can feel that I can do and work through and process why I'm feeling so disconnected. And yeah, so if my ability to be raw helps other people, you know, I'm really grateful for that gift that I can share. And yeah, I just don't know how to be anyway, which limits me a lot. But then when I connect with people, and I connect with you beautiful women, the connection's deep. And to me, I value that over a million connections. One connection of depth for me is amazing. So thank you to you all.
Absolutely. And, you know, I think about the one woman who is watching this right now who has felt disconnected. You know, it's really funny that you were talking about that, your disconnection, because it's also something that I would say that I struggle with. And you might think, Layla, you're so connected. You know, you have all these connections. How can you ever feel disconnected? But it's something that I've always dealt with. I've always secluded myself. I've always retracted. I've always kept things, you know, kind of tucked away inside and kept them safe. So when you said heart set, it was like, I felt like this cage opened up, and it was like, okay. And then when you were just out here sharing your experience of feeling disconnected and not being able to, you know, feel human sometimes. Like you see these people and they're social butterflies, and people would think that, Layla, you would be a social butterfly. You're up on stages, you're at events, you're speaking to people, you're coaching people, but I'm really not. You know, there's a big part of me that is not a social butterfly, that is very socially awkward, and I get into these situations, and, you know, sometimes we put the wall up, right? Disconnection. So being able to rethink and saying, okay, my heart set is something that I do need to work on, and opening up and being more transparent and more raw and more real about the things that even I go through as, you know, as a leader, the things that you go through, and the heart set that I need to change. And so it's really powerful. And I'm just thinking about the one woman out there that's experienced that, like me. You know, maybe you're even in the social eye, you know, the public eye. Maybe people are watching you on YouTube all the time, but you still feel disconnected. And so this is honestly a place where you can ask those tough questions and force yourself to go inside and to uncover them. And I think that that's truly happened in just one day of boot camp. So I want to go back to Trisha Lee with your one word. What was your word, by the way?
Peace.
Peace. That's right. Peace. So this is at a moment when you feel like there's a lot going on, right? There's a lot of circumstances and surrounding issues and emotions and things that are going on. So when you get that peace and you have that clarity and all of that is calm, then what does that mean for Trisha Lee?
That I can pass it on to other people more effectively, because I feel like I've learned all this awesome stuff, and I feel like I really want to share it, and I try to, but people, and then I find within myself, because like you say, even though like people look at you and like, oh, you're so confident, but I still have like moments where I feel like Sahara, like just the other day, my dad blasted me, and some of what he said totally had me feeling like, oh, am I like a parasite in your life? And just like, I don't know, it's like everybody has those feelings, and you overcome them, but it's like maintaining it, because I have so many moments of peace during my life, but then it's when other people and their grief or circumstances or whatever they're going through starts, because you care about those people, it starts to weigh on you, then it's hard to maintain that peace. And the meditation helps a lot, but it's just, I was like, just feeling that that's like something that's like so important at difficult times, because that's the hardest, to keep in that peaceful feeling.
You know what? I can totally relate to that, because as a coach, a lot of women come to me when they're dealing with something difficult, or when they've gone through something difficult, and they share their stories and they share their pain and their struggles, and I feel it. And sometimes it can be a little bit overwhelming, and that's one of my my mechanisms is to detach and to disconnect. But when really remembering that analogy of the sky and the clouds, and in order for me to help these women, in order for me to, like you said, to share that peace with other people, to share that, I have to remain constant in being the sky. I can't let the storm clouds of what's happening around me, or what's happening to other people, or what they might be dealing with, affect my own identity as the sky. And too often we allow people to make us feel a certain way. I was totally guilty for this. You've probably said it at one time. You made me feel blank. You made me feel small. You made me feel little. You made me feel unwelcome. You made me feel stupid. You made me feel ugly. You have said that at one point to someone else. And I was totally guilty of this. I would do it to Toby all the time. I'd be like, you don't make me feel pretty. And when you have this internal shift, and this happens as you go through the content, as you go through the trainings, as you go through these assignments, and you realize no one can take your power of how you feel. And that's something that you hold dear. You hold as precious cargo, how you feel, because you control that. So no one can make you feel ugly. No one can make you feel little. No one can make you feel stupid. No one can make you feel insignificant.
Yeah,
only you.
It's all a choice. And then it's so interesting, because with what I'm learning, that's what was being said to me, was you made me. And when you recognize that, it's like, okay. And I was very much more easily, I can imagine in the past my reaction, but I was much more easily to just breathe and allow what needed to be said, and just walk away feeling good, because I know what I know. And
exactly.
It's difficult for them, and I was in the wrong initially, made a mistake, and so I admitted that.
It's the awareness, right? The ability to identify that gives you power.
Yeah, because
We're
I know
usually are just like reacting, boom, boom,
yeah,
reacting to our emotions. Oh, you made me feel this way. I'm going to act this way. You made me feel this way. I'm going to act this way, rather than taking a second to be observant. So that's awesome. I mean, you're making huge strides in this personal growth towards peace, and you know that you can control it. So really, it's just a process of following it. Hello, little guy. Sorry, baby in me.
that's so cute. But yeah, right away I could just choose to be like, okay, I don't have to be upset about this. This person is upset about this.
Right.
Does not mean that I have to be upset about it. And so I just went about my merry way, and and I feel empathy that they are upset with the situation, but I've chosen to be over it. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Very proud of you. Very proud of you, Trisha Lee. That is a big step forward. And, you know, the lessons that you're learning in the Superwoman and the processes that you're going through and the growth, you know, it has no choice but to filter through into every part of our life. You know, our relationships with our family, our relationships with our friends, you know, everything that's going on as you start to grow as a person, and as you start to tap into this belief and this value and your heart set and your mindset and your connection and your love. This is when you start to see, okay, you know, it's funny because I can identify in my friends or family, I can identify, you know, limiting beliefs. I can hear them speaking them. Now, I don't always go in and say, okay, let me coach you on this, because not everyone is open and receptive. You know, not everyone is ready to take that step. But the women that are listening, that are on the line after an hour and 15 minutes, you are open and receptive. You are ready. Your time is now. You're just waiting for me to tell you what to do. Basically, click the button. You know, honestly, the Superwoman Connection. Okay, let me be frank. The Superwoman Connection is open and free, and we give away so much incredible training. The 7-day boot camp will change your life. The daily audios will bring you to tears. They will make you laugh. They will make you shudder and question and grow and develop. The book club will expand your mind. The accountability groups with these women, having these women in your corner, nothing is ever the same. And what do you have to pay for that? Nothing. But a lot of women ask us, how can I plug in more? How can I get on the inside? How can I work directly with you guys? How can I, you know, be a coach? How can I step into that realm? How can I do what you do? That's why we put the button on this page. Now, whether you decide to join the inner circle, whether you decide to, you know, come in on the inside, that is not my primary concern. My primary concern is how you can grow, how you can become who you truly are and love who you truly are. So I want you to understand that this is a place where you are safe, where you can feel love no matter what. But I know that some of you want to step into that realm. Some of you want to step into that life where you can empower other people, where you can feel confidence in yourself and become a coach and share your story and make a difference. That's where the button lies. Below our faces at the bottom of this page. And that's the last I'll say of that, because it's up to you. It's a decision for you. But what I can say is you got to plug into the Facebook group. You must plug into the Facebook group. Every single day, I am blown away by the life-changing stories that are happening all throughout this boot camp. So I want to share, before we go, because it's getting late and we've already went over time, but that doesn't matter. I want to share with you an exercise that I did, and there was something about it that gave me space. I want you to think about right now, you can probably think off the top of your head 5 to 10 things that you have to do. And I'm talking everything, you know, like change the light bulb in the upstairs hallway, which I haven't done. You know, pump up my tire. My one tire is getting low, and I'm thinking about it. I want you to think about the things that you have to do just for a second. I don't want you to stay there because we're not going to stay there. But this is a place where a lot of us function throughout the day, is thinking about all the things we have to do. And our mind is occupied by all the things that we have to do. So I want to give you an opportunity to purge it. Let it go. Write it down. Release it from your mind. And I believe that your power is created when you can create space. Space. Space to be who you are at this moment without all of the things that you have to do sitting on your shoulders. So I want you to grab, I don't have a pen or anything right now with me, but I want you to, when you get a pen and a piece of paper, I want you to write down everything. Everything. Everything from picking up the dry cleaning to getting the dog his updated vaccines to, you know, sitting, whatever you've been putting off, everything. Just write it down and get it the heck out of your brain. Do not carry it around with you throughout the day. Put the piece of paper, once you have it written, put it in your desk. It's there. Leave your mind. Create space. Create space so you can grow. A lot of times when we go into something new, I know a lot of women right now, they're procrastinating on doing their boot camp because there's so much stuff that is going on in their life and there's so much stuff that they have to do. So we take all of those things on that list and we chunk them into something big that stops us from actually doing something. And it's like this creature in our face that's preventing us from taking action on anything because there's so many things that we have to do. So when you purge, I want you to purge everything from the light bulbs to changing the oil, everything that you have to do. And then I want you to only go through your list. We purge. Step 2, prioritize. What's most important? What is the number one? Focus on the number ones. What is the number 2? When the number ones are done, do the number 2s. What is the number 3? When the number ones and the number 2s are done, then you can move on to the number 3s. But do not carry that list around with you. Do not carry it around with you every single day. Create space for you to open up like this. Create space for you to take part in the boot camp. Honestly, if you put your time into the boot camp and you really become genuine and honest and transparent in what you're doing, it will be the biggest income producing activity. Because you might be thinking, well, how am I going to actually make money from just, you know, sharing myself and sharing my story and, you know, being emotional and, you know, crying? Well, how is that actually going to help me? When you go through the boot camp and you truly invest yourself, you will understand who you actually are. And when you understand who you actually are, that is when you can go on to do whatever you want, to be the most successful public speaker, to be, you know, an incredible leader to your teammates. This is how this happens. It doesn't happen until you get in touch with who you are. So whatever steps, whatever things that you think that you have to do, this right here, getting in touch with this right here, your purpose, your passion, this is where the power comes from. And you must summon the power before anything, before any of the results, before any of the success can happen. You must know who you are and why you're here. And that's why day one is why are you here? So ladies, we're almost at 90 minutes, and I said I wouldn't go to 90 minutes, but I want to open it up. I know we haven't had a chance to hear from Keisha. Keisha, come on out here and just share how you're feeling after this hangout and experiencing some of these stories from these women.
Wow, guys. Hello, everyone, and everyone out there viewing and watching. My chest is like pounding. It's just like tight. I feel so much, what I want to say is love. And it's been going on all day. I think Greta was singing love to me in the chat, and just hearing how, I think I popped on earlier, and I think Elizabeth was talking, and I feel like I already have a connection with so many people just watching their videos, and I've been commenting and just hearing everyone's stories today. And Sahara, she's my accountability partner, so you guys already know. We have such a little heart connection there. And truthfully, Layla, it's just amazing to me how all of this, we didn't chat, Layla, and say what we'd be talking about, but these are some of the same things that I talked about on the call today, about just, it's just amazing to me how it all works, and I want to share with everyone, that's how you know when you are in the right place, when it all syncs, and it all makes sense, and it's all congruent, and it just, that's when you know, and it's just right. It feels right. You know it's right when everything is connected. How about that? When it's connected, and when it's connected with your heart, and you feel comforted. You feel comforted. And you know, Laura, I was watching your videos, and I saw all of what you want to do, your passions you have, and you guys inspire me. I'm inspired every day. You help me push further, and that's why we put this together, so we can help each other keep getting up where we want to go, help lift each other up, and this is really just amazing. I'm just lost for words. My heart is like full. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, it's awesome. It really is, and I think with that being said, we are, you know, we're coming to the end of our hangout, and it's been a really real experience, and that is the underlying message here that I want you to take away from this this live hangout here is the realness, the rawness. It's truly how you break through. You know, we talk about, oh, I'm gonna break through, and you know, I'm gonna have the success, and I'm gonna build the big team, and I'm gonna have a big giant check on stage, and this is my breakthrough year. It really comes from these moments of true vulnerability, and if you haven't experienced them because you've been closed off, or because you've been afraid, or thinking that people will judge you or criticize you, then I invite you to join the boot camp. Boot camp day 1. And just take a couple of minutes to check out some of the other ladies' homework. Take a couple of minutes to watch the videos. Watch their transparency. Women that have never cut videos in their life. Women who are, you know, totally afraid of the camera. And, you know, it's like an evil creature that wants to swallow them whole. You know, I know that some women have experienced that, but they did it anyway. Yeah. And I'm seeing these videos, and I'm seeing women that are not letting those mean girls in their head stop them from taking action. And that's the first step towards your breakthrough. That is the first step towards making your goals a reality, is when you're willing to feel the fear. Marisol always says it, feel the fear, and do it anyways. And seeing you ladies dig deep for those assignments, and the many assignments that are to come, you know, I'm really excited that this is just the beginning, and this is like the first wave. You know, as new women come in every day, they're starting their first day. And for us to be able to be there for them as they start their first day, and know exactly what they're feeling, and know the fears that are going on in their head because we have experienced them. I mean, that in itself makes all of you such a value to this community. You have experienced the struggles that women for months and months and months, the fears, the anxiety, the worry, the stress, you've experienced it, and you know how. You know how to help them. You know how to help them break through. You know how to help them defeat the demon because you've done it. I can't thank you all enough for being here and for sharing yourself so honestly, because it is a testament to what we have created with the Superwoman Connection. So if you're watching this and you're not plugged in with the Superwoman Connection, get back with whoever invited you. Start a conversation, because we are real people. And we're firm believers in the power of communication. I don't want you to just go on some website and put your credit card in and never speak to me or hear from me, or that's not how we operate here. Like Sahara said, it is a heart-set connection that we build in the Superwoman group. So reach out with the woman that invited you to the Superwoman, that plugged you in, and share with her your fears. Share with her what you want. Share with her your goals. And ask her to plug you in to the inside. Plug you into the boot camp, to the Facebook group, to the calls every single day. And I can guarantee, once you go Superwoman, you never go back. You just can't. I cannot imagine my life without this power source in it anymore. It doesn't work. So connect with us, plug in with us, reach out to us, because that's why we're here. That is our purpose. And if you watch those videos and you listen to the purpose of many of these women, it is to make a difference. It is to make an impact. It is to change lives. It is to help you spread your wings and truly step into your power. So when you have hundreds of women with that same vision, it's like this pushing, driving force that even when you want to quit, even when you want to give up, even when you want to throw in the towel, you've got this locomotive that's like pushing you along, and it's the Superwoman. So ladies, I appreciate you. I love you. It's almost, 90 minutes. Okay, I thought we would go about 90 minutes. I was figuring with such a big giant panel that it might happen. So if you're watching this, it's because it meant something to you. You connected. So now it's just time to take the connection to the next level and to plug into the inside and to experience these breakthroughs that all of these women are having for yourself. Stop watching other people. Take ownership and do it for you, because this is your journey. This is your story. We just want to show you how to write it. We want to show you how to tell it. We want to show you how to feel it and create power from it. So thanks, ladies. I appreciate you. I love you.
Thank you, Layla.
Layla Black.
Layla. Love you, ladies.
Thank you all very much.
Make sure that you guys plug in every Thursday, because we're bringing to you new topics. Sometimes we'll be discussing things like this in an open forum, and sometimes we'll be doing some more hands-on, on-screen training. I know we've got some cool fan page stuff coming up in the works and lots of exciting stuff. So do not miss a Thursday night. Plug into the Facebook group. Stay connected. Check it every day. Contribute every day. Talk to someone every day. Connect every single day. It's why it is called the Superwoman Connection. Love you. Peace, love to everyone. That's a wrap.
All right. Thank you all.